Hey guys, welcome to another crochet video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this cozy striped sweater. This sweater was really simple to make and pretty quick as well. I worked on this every day for about a week and finished it just in time to gift to someone for Christmas. So for this video, I'm making a men's size medium to large, but you can make this pattern in any size you want. You'll just need a few measurements. If you're not sure what your numbers are, you can just grab your favorite sweater and take your measurements from that. You'll need to know how thick you want your cuffs to be, the width for the bottom body band, as well as the width of the sleeve cuff, the length of the sweater starting from the neckline, the length from the top of the shoulder to the neckline, the width of the neckline, and lastly, the length of the sleeves. For my sweater, I'm using a weight 5 bulky yarn. This one is from Paton. It's called Merino Extrafine Big, and it's 100% merino wool. This is my first time using this yarn. I actually really like it. It's super soft and feels so nice to touch. This yarn is also machine washable and dryable, which makes cleaning it super convenient. For a men's size medium to large, I'm using about 1,400 yards of this yarn, which is kind of a lot. But if you're making a smaller size sweater, obviously you won't need as much yarn as this. If you use a smaller weight yarn, you'll need more yardage to make the same size sweater. And if you use a larger yarn, you won't need as much. Then finally, I'm using my 6mm and 8mm hooks. First, we're going to make a body panel, and we're going to start with the bottom band. Using your 6mm hook, make a chain as long as how thick you want the band to be. For mine, I'm making 9 chains or 3 inches. Chain an extra one for your turning chain, which doesn't count as a stitch. Turn your work, then make single crochets in every stitch, starting with the very first one. So I'm going to have 9 single crochets. Chain 1, then turn. Now we're going to make back loop single crochets except for the first and last stitch of every row. So for this first stitch, make a regular single crochet. Then to do a back loop single crochet, instead of going into both loops, we're just going to go into the back loop, which is the one that's farther from us, and make a single crochet. Continue making back loop single crochets until you have 1 stitch left. Then for this last stitch, we're going to do a regular single crochet, so go into both loops. Repeat this row until the length matches your measurement for the bottom band. For mine, I'm making 19 inches. I finished my band and ended my last row on the same side that has the tail from the beginning, so that I can just crochet over that instead of weaving it in. Now we're going to work on the main part of the body. First, you're going to switch to your 8mm hook, then chain 1 and turn so that you're working along the long edge. Then we're going to work a single crochet into the side of every row, except for the first and the last row. So here's the side of the first row, skip over that, and work a single crochet into the next side, which looks like this. Continue until you have 2 stitches left. When you're at the end, skip the second to last stitch and make a single crochet in the last stitch. Now we're going to work on the main part of the body, which is an easy 6-row repeat. The first 4 rows are just double crochets. So chain 2, turn, then make a double crochet in every stitch, starting with this very first one. Repeat this until you have 4 rows of double crochets. After the 4 rows of double crochets, we're going to do 2 rows of front post and back post double crochets. So chain 2, turn. For the very first stitch, we're just going to make a regular double crochet. Then we're going to alternate front post and back post double crochets. So if you look at the row below, this part is called the post. We'll be making double crochets around this instead of in the top loops. So for a front post double crochet, you want to insert your hook so that this post is in front of your hook. And for a back post double crochet, you want the post to be behind your hook. So we'll need to go in from behind, like this. This can be a little tricky at first, but you'll get the hang of it after a few. So we're going to start with a front post double crochet. Yarn over and insert your hook so the post is in front of your hook. Then make a double crochet like normal. So draw up a loop and make sure to pull up high enough so that this row doesn't get scrunched up. Then pull through 2 and pull through 2. As you can see, this pulls the post forward so it looks like it's coming out towards us. Next, for the back post double crochet, yarn over and insert so the post is behind your hook. Draw up a loop, pull through 2, and pull through 2. So this back post is going away from us, and if you flip over to look at the other side, you can see that the back post of one side looks like a front post on the other side. We're going to alternate these for the rest of this row. For the very last stitch, make a regular double crochet. Then chain 2 and turn. For the second front post back post row, the first and last stitches are also going to be regular double crochets. So make a double crochet in the first stitch. Now for the front and back posts, we want to match the side that the post below is on. So since this first post is on the back side, we're going to make a back post double crochet on top. Then this next post is on the front side, so we're going to make a front post double crochet. Continue alternating all the way across, then finish this row with a regular double crochet in the very last stitch. So this is the entire 6-row pattern, pretty simple. You're just going to repeat this until your panel has enough length to reach the neckline. For me, I'll be making this part 24 inches. So now the main part of the body is done and all we have left is the shoulder. First, we need to figure out where the neckline will be. I'm making my neckline 9 inches wide, so I'm going to find the middle 9 inches of this top row. The top row is 20 inches wide, so 20 minus 9 is 11, and 11 divided by 2 gives us 5.5 inches for each shoulder. This translates to 15 stitches for a shoulder, 19 stitches for the neckline, then 15 stitches for the other shoulder. You can also use stitch markers to mark off where the neckline will start and end. For the first shoulder, chain 2 and turn. Then make double crochets across, but stop 1 stitch before the neckline. So I'm making 14 double crochets. Now I'm going to double crochet the next 2 stitches together. So yarn over, insert your hook and draw up a loop, and pull through 2 loops. Then yarn over, insert into the next stitch, draw up a loop, pull through 2, then pull through all 3. Chain 2 and turn. We're going to double crochet 2 together again. Then make regular double crochets to the end of this row. Now to get to the other side for the other shoulder, we're going to turn our work without making any turning chains. Then slip stitch across the shoulder portion. When you get to the slope, make a single crochet into the side of these rows wherever you can. It doesn't have to be exact, just try to keep it evenly spaced. Then make single crochets across the neckline, leaving 15 stitches or whatever your measurement was, plus 1 extra stitch for the other shoulder. The other shoulder will be worked just like the first one. Start by double crocheting 2 together, then make regular double crochets across. Chain 2 and turn, double crochet across, then double crochet the last 2 together. Finish off the shoulder by going across with slip stitches to match the other side. So this is what the finished body panel looks like. You'll need 2 of these panels, so pause the video and make a second one if you need to. Then I'll meet you back here to work on the sleeves. Now we're going to work on our sleeve, and we'll need 2 of these as well. This is basically the same pattern as the body panel, but with a few small changes. First, we're starting with the cuff again. So with your 6mm hook, chain the same number that you did for the body band. Chain an extra 1 for your turning chain, and make single crochets across. Then just like before, make rows of back loop single crochets until this is double the length of your sleeve cuff measurement. It needs to be double because this is going to be folded over in half to make 1 sleeve. To start on the main part of the sleeve, switch to your 8mm hook, chain 1 and turn so that you're working along the long edge. Then we're going to do an increase and make 2 single crochets in the first stitch. This will help give it some extra width to fit your arm better. Then make 1 single crochet in every stitch until you have 1 stitch left. For that last stitch, make 2 single crochets again. Now we're going to do the 6-row repeat with 1 small change. For each of the 4 double crochet rows, we're going to do an increase and make 2 double crochets in the very first stitch. Then for the rest of the row, just make 1 double crochet in each stitch, including the last one. Then the 2 front post back post rows will be done exactly like normal, so no increases. Repeat these 6 rows until you have the length of your sleeve measurement. And remember that you're doing increases in each of the 4 double crochet rows. Here's what the finished sleeve looks like. When you have all 4 pieces ready, you're going to lay them together as shown here, then seam the pieces together along these lines. Start with the shoulders of the body panels, then attach the sleeves to the body. Make sure the sleeves overlap evenly with both body panels. Then finally, fold your piece in half and seam along the sides of the body and the underside of the sleeves. Also make sure all of your seams are on the outside of the sweater. We'll turn it inside out at the end. For seaming, we're going to use our 6mm hook for the cuffs and our 8mm hook for everything else. You're just going to match up the edges together, attach your yarn at the corner, draw up a loop and chain 1. Then make single crochets evenly across, making sure to work over any tails. When you're seaming the sleeves to the body, the stitches might not line up exactly, but just try your best to keep it even. Now for the last step, we're going to add a collar to the neckline, so switch to your 6mm hook. My neckline ended up being a lot wider than expected, so for the first row, I'm going to decrease by single crocheting 2 together all the way around. First, attach your yarn to the corner and chain 1. Then to do the decrease, insert and draw up a loop, insert into the next stitch and draw up a loop, then yarn over and pull through all 3. If you don't need to make your neckline much smaller, you can add regular single crochets in between the decreases, or if it's already the perfect size, just do a round of all regular single crochets. At the end of this round, I have 1 stitch left, so I'll just do a normal single crochet in there, then slip stitch with the first stitch to close this round. Now for the collar, chain 4 plus 1 for your turning chain. Then make single crochets going down your chain. When you reach the base, slip stitch with the stitch where your chain is coming out of, then slip stitch again into the next stitch. Turn your work and skip over the 2 slip stitches we just made. Now we're going to make back loop single crochets just like we did for the cuffs. So start with a regular single crochet in the first stitch, then back loop single crochets, then a regular single crochet in the last stitch. Chain 1, turn, and work your way back. Now we're at the base again, and we're going to slip stitch into the stitch where the last row is attached, and make another slip stitch into the next stitch. So we're just going to repeat these steps going all the way around the neckline. So here I'm slip stitching into my last 2 available stitches at the base. Then making my last row of back loop single crochets. Now we're going to seam this last row with the first row. So match up the edges, then make single crochets going through both stitches. Then you can cut your yarn and tie off. Turn it inside out and your sweater is complete. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!